United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
School City Whiting, Michigan, School City Whiting, in partnership with our community, empowers students to pursue high-quality, personalized educational pathways and grow as responsible, lifelong learners who respect and value differences. Roll call.
TJ Toth.
Here.
Chris Davenport.
Here.
Patty Hearst. Here. Tom Ehrlich.
Here.
Rena Mendez.
Here.
Comments?
No.
Administrators report.
All right, good evening, everybody, the audience, President Toth, rest of the board. Just have a few announcements here. Today officially begins the celebration of Public Schools Week. I just want to thank all of our staff. We have a lot of staff that are here tonight, as well as the school board for their dedication and support of public education. So thank you all. This week we also have Spirit Week at our middle school, high school kicking off. There will be a pep rally Friday afternoon in the main gym. Students will be participating in different fun activities as well as recognizing the middle school and high school winter athletes. SAT school day testing window opens up Monday, March 2nd through Friday, March 13th. Also the iRead assessment for Nathan Hale. That spring window opens up March 2nd as well, and it closes on March 13th as well. March 9th will be the official reopening of the auditorium. It's also the spring performance for band and choir. Nathan Hale in the middle school will start at 6 p.m. and the high school will be at 7 p.m. So very excited there to finally get that open and being used more often. So it's pretty exciting. March 11th, we have STEM night at Nathan Hale at 4:30 p.m. Looking forward to that as well. Also on this Saturday, February 28th from 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus, we are showing the new wall displays at the Knights of Columbus. Again, that's from 1 p.m. to 4:30. This Saturday, February 28th, we have the new wall displays for the James J. Buckley Hall of Fame. So pretty exciting. It is a $5 cost at the door. It's going to be held like an open house event. We will have some appetizers and some refreshments for those that attend. So hoping for a great turnout there. I also just want to let the public know we are considering having an all-day pre-K program for the 26-27 school year. We've been working with Ms. Nolan Higgins and Ms. Pearson and Ms. Perez downstairs, kind of working with different community partners to try to see how this would all work. But we did put out a survey. Aaron put together a nice survey, Ms. Nolan Higgins, and we had a lot of positive feedback on there. So it is something that we are going to consider for 26-27 school year. More information on that will be shared with the board soon. Thank you for that. Fall break, we will have our March board meeting on March 16th at 5:30 executive session, 6 p.m. public session. We are going to move it up a week because of because of spring break. I don't want to say fall break, spring break. Get everybody nervous. Spring break, which is March 23rd to March 27th, and then school resumes back up on March 30th. And that's all I have for
Financial report.
For tonight's finance report covering January 2026, not too much to go over, but the ending cash balance for our school funds at the end of January was $13,175,338.55. Of that, 3.7 in the education fund and 1.8 million in the operations fund. Spending was within expectation. Had some one-time costs occur in January, which might make the spending look a little bit higher proportionally, but you won't see those recur, and everything else is in line with budget so far. We were able to get the Form 9 finance report submitted to the Department of Education that covers July through December, and it is publicly available. We aren't able to download those reports yet, otherwise we would provide you with a copy, but they course, accepted by the department. Last thing is, you'll notice on the funds report, some of the fund names have a little bit more detail, just getting the new finance system cleaned up and getting the fund names more appropriately named. So thank you to Treasurer Adams for that. That's it. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Hey, Eric, you want to talk about the information we're going to be finding out in April really quick, just so the board's aware of the breaker?
Yeah,
That's
so
coming up.
we're eagerly anticipating circuit breaker reports that come out sometime in April usually. And that tells us our circuit breaker loss for the current year. And we always keep a close eye on that, but especially this year, because we're going to start to see the impact of Senate Bill Act 1. And we're anticipating a higher circuit breaker loss from the operations fund and a little bit in the debt service fund, higher than usual. We have some pretty good estimates from Policy Analytics on what we think that's going to be. 200,000, 300,000 higher, but we don't know exactly until those reports come out. Expected sometime in April. But depending on what we see in there, it could impact, decisions we have to make on the budget if it's higher than what we estimated, that kind of thing. But we'll keep you informed when we know what that number is.
Thank you. Yeah, go up here. Yeah. All right. Good evening again, board members. As you can see, we have a lot more staff members joining us than on a regular board meeting night. We are here to provide an update regarding the strategic plan that will take effect July 1st, 2026 and run through July or June 30th, 2029. So with that being said, kind of as a refresher, back in July of 2025, Dr. Brad Balls from Indiana State came up, worked with a lot of our staff, worked with the school board, the administrators here, and really helped us kind of pull out information out of us, what we were thinking to help us develop this new plan. We did a bunch of activities, a lot of great conversations about what we really believe in here at School City of Whiting, got a lot of feedback from us, and really just kind of steered us in the right direction to create this plan. So for the 25-26 school year, we've kind of been operating off two. If the board remembers back in September of 2025, they approved our core beliefs, our vision statement, our mission statement, and the 5 priorities that we'd be focusing on. So we've been kind of using that a little bit, and then but also using the old plan for the 25-26 school year. Okay, and then again, our plan is to continue to work on this past tonight, and then in May we'll get together again and ask the board to officially approve the plan. So July 1st we can actually start it. Okay, and again, these committees are all here. If you look at the next slide here. Again, across the top, and I'll go over them more in detail here in a minute, are the priorities. Below that, and the next row going across are the chair people for those committees, and then you'll be able to see all of the staff. But I just want to take a moment to recognize a lot of the staff are here today. I want to thank them for all their work, their hard work, and their efforts that they're putting into this plan. So just give them a round of applause. With that being said, the next slide here, School City of Whiting strategic plan encompasses the core beliefs, vision, mission, and priorities, goals, action items, and annual success measures. These were inspired by our school board, administration, staff, community members, and were developed collaboratively. The strategic plan is intended to be dynamic, living, breathing document that is assessed and revised annually by our administrative team leaders in conjunction with the school board, staff, and other stakeholders of the corporation. This is a 3-year strategic plan designed with annual success measures to focus our school leaders on activities that will enhance opportunities for positive results within our schools. Okay. So again, as I mentioned earlier, back in September, the board officially adopted these core beliefs. As you can see, we took the word Oilers. And the O in Oilers stands for opportunities. We believe in creating robust opportunities for every student to learn, grow, and succeed. The I in Oilers, integrity. We uphold honesty, fairness, and strong ethical character in all actions and decisions. The L, learning. We are committed to personalized, supportive learning that fosters academic excellence for all. E, empathy. We cultivate a compassionate environment where emotional well-being and kindness matters. R, respect. We value and celebrate differences, promoting mutual respect among students, staff, and families. And the S stands for support. We believe in a safe, caring, and collaborative community, supporting everyone's potential to build responsible, future-ready citizens. Okay, and then the next slide here, our vision statement, again, that was adopted in September of '25. School City of Whiting empowers students to lead with purpose, using their strengths to shape a better future and inspire change in their communities and beyond. And our mission statement that you heard here already by President Toth, he says at every meeting, School City of Whiting, in partnership with our community, empowers students to pursue high-quality, personalized educational pathways and grow as responsible, lifelong learners who respect and value differences. Okay. And then our next slide here are the 5 priorities that we're going to be focusing on. And I want to stress that whatever we do as we move forward, it has to align with the strategic plan and our priorities. Number 1, we have empower student growth and achievement. Number 2, maintain fiscal stability and transparency. Number 3, retain, recruit, and develop high-quality staff. Number 4, develop a facility improvement plan to address our Euler learning environments that support students' achievement, staff collaboration, and long-term community growth. And then number 5, we have build authentic connections with our Euler families and strengthen partnerships that empower students and family success. Okay, so those are going to be the 5 priorities that we focus on as we move forward. And now I'm going to call up our chairperson for Priority 1 and her committee people that are with her. They're going to talk about Priority 1, which is empower student growth and achievement.
Hey, hello. So I'm here with 2 of our committee members. We have a pretty large committee, but I have Bridget McCullough-Favela. She is our school psychologist. And Sarah Daniels is our school guidance counselor and also a new career coach, as well as something she got anointed this year as well. And I'm Liz Preboy, the district instructional coach. So our whole priority is about all the academics and instruction and the learning environment, and also, you know, what our students, how we can prepare them for after graduation. So those are kind of the areas of this main Priority 1. So if you want to go on here. So our goal is that the School City of Whiting will provide supportive learning that fosters academic excellence for all. Oh, before I get started, I wanted to talk about the structure and how we kind of structured the strategic plan. So you can notice we each have the priorities. Then each priority has 3 goals. And then under that, we have action items, which are what we're going to be doing. And then the annual success measures, which are the ways that we're going to measure to see, are we actually getting that done? So our action items, the first one is about aligning our curriculum maps, our instruction all to the Indiana state standards, the I-Learn checkpoints, the SAT, things like that. We want to make sure that we are in line with those tests that we're going to be tested on, and of course the new graduation requirements. Along with that, there is the research from the Science of Reading that we are also kind of infusing mostly at Nathan Hale, but we are starting to expand that actually in the middle school as well this year. So we want to use those good practices. A new thing that we're going to be adding is a structure called Professional Learning Communities, or PLCs. So this is it's just a structure that allows teachers to collaborate, to set goals for their grade level, and then discuss important instructional practices, like what is best, but also looking at student data as well. So the research has shown that when teachers have an aligned goal and when they kind of know the direction they're going and they're working together and having that conversation, that the student outcomes are much higher. And so both in academic and behaviorally, as we're going to talk about in a minute too. So we're going to be kind of restructuring that and doing that a little bit as well next year. Another area that we want to focus on is intervention. We feel that all students K through 12 that are struggling, we should have ways to identify that they're struggling and then provide them with some reteaching or remediation. So we just want to make sure that is available to all of our K-12 and just continue to improve that as well. So the way for measuring some of these things will be these living documents, which will be the curriculum maps. We're going to common formative assessment, which are assessments for the entire grade level. You can also see some of our measures will be professional development, making sure we're getting development for the teachers that are here, but then continuing with teachers as they come into our school corporation and making sure that they're always getting the professional development that the teachers have already had. So now I'm going to turn it over to Bridget to talk about
You can go to
goal 2.
Perfect. So goal 2, when we are talking about interventions and multi-tiered systems of support, Liz was more so speaking to that academic side of things, whereas goal 2 is more so focusing on the behavioral, social emotional side of things. So goal 2 is that we will maintain a positive culture in a structured, safe, and orderly environment, and how our strategic planning committee decided and discussed that would be best to do this is to make sure that we have behavioral supports that mirror the academic expectations through MTSS. Making sure that we have clearly communicated expectations for students and staff so that everyone's on the same page and everything's cohesive, so that we can do things with fidelity and making sure that we are continuously monitoring things and making decisions based off of data that we're collecting instead of making decisions intuitively and just as things are coming up. By doing this, we're also able to make sure that we are catching students before their concerns become too large, right? That we're able to help them and intervene sooner by reviewing different behavior data, attendance data, as well as their grades, so that we can see those students who are struggling and need additional supports, as well as being able to acknowledge the students who are consistently meeting expectations and doing what they need to be doing. We want to make sure that, again, those expectations that they have are clearly communicated, but that we're also having those celebratory moments for our students as well, so that we can get more buy-in and acknowledge their growth, whether it's that there are students that are having personal growth that they may have been struggling to start with, or those students, again, who are just consistently role models and doing what they're expected to be doing. Ways that we will measure that we are successfully doing this is by having information collected from staff members as climate surveys. So that could be our teachers, our administrators, as well as input from our students and families, so that we can get continual input on, are we doing these things with fidelity? Are we following through on the expectations? Are we seeing the growth that we're expecting to see? We will also make sure that we have opportunities similar to what Liz was talking with PLC, of opportunities to support our staff through those MTSS systems, of being able to identify students who need support and coming up with different intervention plans to make sure we're doing what we need to do to make sure that they're accessing their education. And then also looking at our more global data of seeing are things that are positive that we want to be growing, like our attendance, is that continuing to grow? And then looking to see if those other areas that are more maladaptive, that's decreasing, whether it's be our students that are chronically absent, suspended, or expelled. So that's what I got. I'll turn it over to Sarah.
All right, and then my goal number 3, is going to focus on the college and career readiness opportunities that we want to show students in the upcoming years. So our action items, the first one is having a career framework for each grade level, K through 12. The state has provided us with this, so we already are utilizing this. We're already doing activities at each grade level that the state is suggesting to us. But one of our main goals is really to align that curriculum so that, you know, the language that we're using, the activities that we're doing are all building on each other, and that our students are really seeing how things are just related to each other. They're being exposed, they're getting to explore, they're getting to experience things, they're getting to engage, and it's all gonna kind of grow with them. One of the big parts of this is gonna be agilities, which a few of us have already received training in. We're actually going to be partnering with the DeBruce Foundation in the next month or two to hopefully host an agilities training here at Whiting so that we could get some of our new staff using this system. And that's gonna play a big part in that career readiness framework. Increasing partnerships with colleges, local businesses, and outside agencies. This is something we're constantly doing, especially now with the early college. We've made new connections with the local colleges. And then Chrissy Bernardi will be talking a little bit later on about the work-based learning opportunities that we're building. Providing students the opportunity to successfully transition to their post-secondary plans. This is all part of those new diplomas in which they choose enrollment, employment, or enlistment. Really meeting with our students, figuring out what they want to do, and giving them the flexibility with their coursework to better have them be the best prepared for whatever they want to do when they leave here. And then increase student access to CT pathways and advanced courses. And I'll talk about this in a moment with the success measures, but we're already very inclusive with our advanced courses and dual credit programs here. It's just something that we want to continue doing. So some of the ways we're going to measure this, with that career framework, there are specific activities that are required by the state for us to do. We already are performing at that at 100%, so we want to maintain that. Things like having our students have access to career fairs, career discovery meetings, taking the SAT, filing their FAFSAs. We're already doing those things. So we're going to continue doing those things at 100%. Consistently increase the number of dual credit AP and work-based learning hours. Like I said, we're already very inclusive. We have had last year over 200 students take an AP exam, and we had over 200 students earn a dual credit. So that's already like half of our population at the high school. So obviously we want to keep doing that, and the early college will definitely increase those numbers. Maintain the number of honors diploma seals. So right now it's hard because we haven't done any diploma seals yet because that's brand new. It's starting with the class of 29. But just based on our numbers from what we've had in the past with honors diplomas, the state is at like around 13 to 14% of students graduating with those. We're already at between 35 to 42% usually a year of our students who are earning those diplomas. So I think that the diploma seals will see something pretty similar with that. And then provide at least 3 high school credit bearing courses at the middle school level, which is something we're working on we're building the master schedule now. We're already talking about classes to add. And then also maintaining at least 2 in-house career pathways. We have the partnership with the ACC where our students have access to numerous pathways. But even just in-house, next year we're going to have 2 full career pathways, business and computer science, where students can be CTE concentrators. Next year we're adding a second course in a teaching CTE pathway, and we're starting a brand new one, which is the biomedical pathway. So we're really excited about those things. That's it.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
All right, priority 2. Got Ms. Nolan Higgins coming on up.
I'd like to recognize our priority 2 cohort here, and that is Cassie Brazola, as well as Mallory Madrina, and then unable to join us today is Shireen Abdel-Al. So we were a small but mighty group talking about a very weighty topic that nobody wants to talk about, which is maintaining fiscal stability and transparency. Our 3 goals included SCW will remain transparent with financial decision making. We will expect responsible decision making at every level, and then we will continue to seek alternative funding sources to remain fiscally stable. So focusing on goal number 1, some action items that we, as I can piggyback off of what Ms. Danielson said, some of the things you'll see we are doing, and so how can we continue to enhance that? We'll continue to provide those annual budget meetings open to all stakeholders. We will enhance communication with all of our stakeholders on financial information, so making sure that everyone feels comfortable and understands what's being presented. And collaborate with the WTA, our Whiting Teachers Association, on disseminating financial information to everybody. So that way, we're all on the same page, we're all hearing the same message. Everybody behind me is probably sick of hearing me say those 2 things. Our annual success measures to accomplish this goal are year-end reporting that demonstrates the support of our district's strategic plan goals. As Mr. Verda has stated, once this is finalized, this is the focus, and everything will follow suit. So we want to make sure that when it comes to maintaining that fiscal stability, that we are ensuring that that year-end reporting is demonstrated that we are continuing to follow that message. We'll also create and share how-to guides navigating financial information in board docs. Sometimes people don't know how to access that stuff. So we have it on our website. How can we help our stakeholders to make sure they know exactly where to go? And then beyond that, we will create annual district surveys, which will indicate feedback that it shows us. We've expanded that communication, that financial decisions, how they're determined, and what it is that we are trying to illustrate to the community. Everybody will be able to access that and understand it, and we will know through that feedback that it has been met. For goal 2, as I stated, it is School City of Whiting will expect responsible decision-making at every level. It's imperative that we are ensuring our resources are aligned to support those strategic plan goals. That way we are using every dollar to its fullest potential and supporting our students in learning and achievement. As far as reviewing current contracts for cost-effective solutions annually, we are looking at online applications and other items, things to make sure that we are stretching our dollars in the most efficient way so that those students can grow. And then we will review our expenditures on capital projects as we do. Those success measures that would satisfy goal number 2 would include our annual review of finances indicating 100% of support of the strategic plan goals over the length of the plan. Prioritize spending that enhances learning, achievement, and growth for School City of Whiting students, as well as increase stakeholder representation in district decision-making. We want to make sure that people feel they have a seat at the table and can be able to provide their input. For our 3rd goal, School City of Whiting will continue to seek alternative funding sources to remain fiscally stable. I think we have continued to do that this year, and I'm very excited, as Ms. Daniels pointed out, that we're able to begin considering the biomedical pathway. That's a huge thing, thanks to our Project Lead the Way grant, and then obviously support from everybody here. So with our goal 3, our action items are to collaborate with all stakeholders for grant writing and other funding opportunities. It doesn't just have to be limited to Mr. Verda and I. We're welcoming other people to provide input, and I've been very fortunate to work with staff members, specifically with Project Lead the Way, Ms. Jessica Castillo, who was very helpful, and Ms. Jessica Comic as well, in making sure that everything was included. We all, of course, will explore the possibility of a referendum. I think that that is a natural next step in making sure that we're seeking those alternative funding sources, as well as expanding those outside partnerships and shared services. An example of that is our most recent grant with BP. Our annual success measures for Goal 3 are to offer grant writing workshops annually. That was something that was brought up as an interest to help continue to grow our staff in a way that they could also be applying for grants. Increased partnerships highlighted throughout the school year, promoting projects and participation. I think we've really been showing that. I look forward to seeing how that continues to grow here. As well as successful achievement of a multi-year referendum. So I'll leave that in your hands. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys. Ms. Pearson?
Okay, well, we also are a small team, and they are not here. They're like, but they were not able to come. We have, young kids taking care of older adults, so they all said they wanted to be here, but we had really great discussions. Mark Lambert, John Aguilera, Ariel Chavez, and Melissa Yarchko. So we kind of had a variety of elementary, middle, and high, kind of representing different areas. Which I think is important because we are talking about recruiting and retaining high quality staff. And this is kind of I feel like we all got our priorities that are kind of our passion. And for me, making sure you have the best staff is the most important thing, because it doesn't matter how great our buildings look, it doesn't matter what resources we have if you aren't filling our buildings with the great staff that we have now, you're not gonna find success. So when we looked at ours, our first goal, I feel like it's kind of progressive, so we wanna attract good teachers, we wanna then retain them. So it's great we attract them, but how are we gonna make sure they wanna stay with us? And then we wanna help them grow. So our first goal was to focus on attracting highly qualified teachers and staff. For action items, starts with seeking partnerships with universities and colleges to host student teachers and provide field experiences of future educators. And we do a great job of that. We already, as a district, we have a lot of Purdue University Northwest, IUN, and then of course Cal College. We've hired several teachers that have done their field experiences with us, and then that's a great opportunity for us to kind of see, you know, how they do in the building and in the classroom. And also even from like Valpo, from Purdue University, from IU. So we've definitely had a variety, not just local universities. And then also we want to, why choose Whiting? Because we know education's hard right now and people looking at all sorts of different districts. So utilizing our social media to share and promote what's happening within our schools, because no one's going to tell our story but us. And we definitely want to tell all the great things that are happening in our buildings. And I think even I share a lot with pictures that you know, but I think between Mr. Borsitz and I, and with the district with putting everything out, a lot more involvement and engagement just on the social media, which is good, because before just people would see it, but people responding to it, sharing it, getting more involved in it, and sharing, you know, I have grandparents that comment on it, or neighbors from neighboring districts that, you know, want their kids to go here. So it's exciting to see the participation. And then also participating in recruiting events that are sponsored by local universities and the Indiana Department of Ed. So Mr. Borsitz and I are going next month to a recruiting event at IUN to, again, tell our story and really represent Whiting and have the opportunity to meet students who are getting ready to graduate. So measuring that is kind of a tricky thing. You're not looking at quantitative necessarily, but we are looking at, are we hiring through these university partnerships and experiences? Entrance interviews, so we usually do exit interviews if someone was leaving, but we said we really need to do entrance interviews just to get an idea of, you know, one, you know, what made them choose Whiting. We know why we chose them, but why did they choose us? Because in a lot of cases, you know, they have different offers, so it's exciting when they choose us, so we, you know, get more information. And then also maintaining a list of events attended and percent of staff hired from those experiences, just so we know, are we putting all of our eggs into going to IUN and then we end up not, you know, finding any, you know, candidates there. So just getting a better idea of where are we finding our candidates and what's the best way to promote ourselves and attract them. So then, goal number 2. So again, we've attracted them, we've hired them, so now we want them to stay with us. So we want to provide a collaborative school culture where all staff feel supported and appreciated, because you only are going to want to work in a place where you do feel supported, where you want to be. So action items include, 1, having a clear line of communication where all staff feel heard and valued. That was something that in our discussion with our team that we talked a lot about, making sure that if I have a concern as a teacher, how is that being, you know, heard? So having that clear line of communication, and then also working collaboratively to support the teacher concerns. And that kind of goes with the 3rd action item, which providing opportunities for feedback through a semester survey. So like we have an end of the year survey, but having more opportunities to provide, you know, end of the year is great for the next year, but really having that opportunity to say, okay, I've got this group of teachers that has, you know, this concern, we need to come together to address that. So success measures with that is also 100% staff participation in culture building activities. And that's relevant because, I mean, if you think of just a Christmas party, our picnic at the beginning of the year, things that are going to build culture, our whole group when we come together as a staff for different meetings, you know, when you feel like you're a part of something, you are going to put your, you know, your best foot forward. And we want everyone to feel like they are a part of our School City of Whiting family. We spend more time together here than we do with our own families. Some might like that, some might not. But we do. I mean, I always told my kids that, like, I'm with you more than I am with my own kids at home. And so, you know, we want to be in a place where everyone feels supported and that they can come and have that support. And then also completion of monthly student success team meetings. So we have that at Nathan Hale. Really, Bridget was integral in kind of helping us get that going last year. But it's really, when we talk about, instead of top down, it's really kind of a circle of, like, here's the concerns, we're going to come together. I don't always have the answer. In fact, most often I don't have the answer when we're looking at a student behavior, or they've got so many different levels of things going on, and so we come together as a team. And that's really where it starts, is coming together as a team, not just me and the teacher, but having Bridget, having, you know, our coach, having the social worker, having whatever other staff are necessary, and looking at our kids with a team approach, and making sure teachers have that opportunity to voice, like, here's what's happening, here's my concern, and coming together. And then our third one is we want everyone to grow, because students are going to learn when their teachers have the best knowledge. So we want to facilitate growth opportunities in order to best serve students. So that means having a structured mentoring program offered to all staff that are new to School City of Whiting, because even if you're a veteran teacher, you're still new to Whiting, and so there's procedures, expectations, things that are just different, and nobody wants to, you know, especially I feel like if you are in a very, like, high school, very science, very specific area, you might not know who to ask for support. So making sure that we have a mentoring program where all new staff feel like, okay, this is somebody I can definitely go to. Liz and Aaron put together this year their mentoring retreat, where the new staff also had the opportunity to ask questions, give feedback, and that's really important, because we can say, well, these are the things we know you're going to need to know, but also, what do they need? I mean, we think we've thought of it all, but giving them the opportunity to kind of feel comfortable enough to share and voice their concerns or feedback. Also optimizing professional development opportunities to support enhanced instruction through staff input. So again, instead of saying, like, this is what we're going to be doing for our PD for all of this time, you know, asking staff, like, what is it that you need, what can we offer to help enhance your instruction, to make you better, because every staff member is different, and this includes everyone. So again, this year, the reading team was supporting our support staff, because the better the support staff are, the better instruction they're going to be able to provide, so that we're consistent in that instruction. So just making sure that the professional development is what's going to help each individual teacher to enhance their instruction. Also offering teachers the opportunity for dual credit certification, so giving them the opportunity to pursue that. And then creating opportunities for teachers to observe their peers in the classroom. Because no matter how we are the best resources for each other, and just being able to go and observe each other, just to see how I teach math with you, but why do I see your students doing a little bit better in this area than mine? So can I just come and see kind of how you approach that? So not just for new teachers, but for all teachers to be able to have the opportunity to go and observe each other. So how does that look in terms of success? So again, 100% of staff members new to the district will participate in the mentoring program. Having that annual mentor program feedback demonstrates a professional development experience with a positive impact. So whether you're a veteran teacher, new, you don't want to feel like you're like, I'm a professional. So it's that opportunity, it's more we're learning together versus like we're just telling you this is what you need to do. So again, giving them that opportunity for feedback. And then increasing the number of staff participating in professional development opportunities annually. So whether you're a veteran teacher, I mean, honestly, if you were to look at a lot of our veteran teachers that are 5 years or more, they are the ones who will ask more for PD because they now are in the routine and they kind of know, okay, this is what's going to make my instruction better. Sometimes newer teachers are just like, I'm not sure what I need, but so, you know, no matter whether you're new, veteran, just making sure that we are increasing that number of staff participating, because obviously the more knowledge, the more skills, the better instruction. And then increasing percentage of peer observations completed annually. So again, just getting teachers, giving them that opportunity to be able to go and observe and learn from each other.
All right. Good evening, board, superintendent, Mrs. Adams, Ms. Belford, staff, community. I have priority 4. Before we get started with this, I'd like to acknowledge my priority 4 crew. If you guys would stand real quick if you're here tonight. Thank you, guys. We had a fantastic group that they worked really hard with me through the whole thing, wordsmithing, planning out ideas, meeting, lots of time put into it. So priority 4 is all about developing that facility improvement plan. With goal number 1, optimizing district facilities to meet the needs of all Oilers stakeholders. And the action items that we put together for that is to complete a district facilities assessment. And board, you've been working really closely with that already with the improvement plan and seeing, you know, what things look like at all levels. And then taking that information and prioritizing areas that need optimization and modernization. And we chose those words, optimization and modernization, knowing that it gives us some flexibility on whether we're rebuilding, making something better the way maybe it already is, but, you know, just polishing, but giving us flexibility as we work through this process. And then something that it was a common theme throughout all was communication, that aspect of kind of giving everybody a seat at the table and making sure we're kind of doing a check along the way to make sure people feel like their voice is being heard and they have some input. And that was a common theme through the entire priority. But for goal number 1, how are we going to make sure that we're doing those action items? And through our success measures there, we want to make sure that 100% of building areas are assessed. And that has happened already, and that we were able to include that spring 2026 timeframe there. And then that facility assessment report reviewed and shared publicly by this coming summer. And then prioritizing some of the items on there to things that all stakeholders, staff, community want to see happen. And then again, that taking the pulse of the community, that annual stakeholder survey indicating that we felt about 80% of people at least feel informed about facility conditions and next steps. So really kind of quantifying some things there. Goal 2, SCW will engage stakeholders to gather input on long-term facilities modernization. Okay, so getting out there and collecting data from key stakeholders through surveys, meetings, hosting a community meetings for stakeholders to come out and hear what's going on, and then them providing that feedback to us so that we can provide additional opportunities in the planning process. Making sure those things happen, again, are things such as engagement sessions held annually, and then documenting those things, such as a summary of stakeholder feedback, and looking at that every year throughout the 3-year plan. And then hoping the feedback shows increased community confidence in the planning and looking at facilities. And then finally, goal number 3 is coordinating. SCW will coordinate its facility improvement using fiscally responsible practices. And that's that theme of, 1, being transparent, and 2, being creative in the good sense and finding alternative funding sources, whatever those may be. Whether it's pursuing a referendum, identifying different grants that are niche grants that fund specific items to help us through, times when we have to tighten our belt, and there's a decrease in funding. And then creating a priority list of updates, different phases of that rollout to make sure that we're not trying to do everything at once if the finances aren't there for it. And then ultimately developing a plan that involves all stakeholders to explore the possibility of a referendum. And, that's something that's ongoing at the moment. We will measure some of those things, make sure that we're meeting our goals through a balanced multi-year capital plan that's approved and updated annually. Maintain project completion timelines, whether it be the budget, completion schedule, and then like those different funding sources that I mentioned, making sure that we're annually seeking out different grants, whatever it may be, and being transparent with the public. So kind of more of a black and white topic than some of the others, and something that you guys are actively involved in on the day-to-day, and many things that we have ongoing. But something super interesting, and I think kind of really touches everyone at a different level. Thank you.
Thank you. Five, Mr. Freeboy?
Yes. All right, Mr. Freewood, Mrs. Bernardi.
Hello.
I'd like to thank my team too. Many of them are here tonight. Could you, priority 5, could you stand up? We got Ms. James, Ms. Hobson, Ms. Coyle, Ms. Ventris, Ms. Bernardi, Ms. DeWall, Ms. Sopo, Arthur Young, and Heather Hobson. And the cool thing about our group is many of these people live in White. And so they're community members, and then this was our topic. So building authentic connections with our Oiler families to strengthen partnerships and empower student family success. So we know that School City of Whiting has had a long history of community support. And with this priority, we'd like to continue to strengthen and expand the partnership between school and community. This one was really fun to work on because this is where you can get creative and think about all the cool things that are in Whiting and all the cool things that are in the region and the activities that the kids can get involved in, especially now with the way the graduation pathways have changed. It's really opening it up. So our first goal, School City of Whiting will increase its ability for Oiler students to access community support. So some examples of this, how this goal would look in action is we'd continue partnerships for tutoring and mentorships with IUN, PNC, Calumet College. We'd have career exploration and support through the United Way. And we would further develop our partnerships with the YMCA and the Whiting Library. And those are just some examples. There's many more, but that's kind of where we're headed.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about goal number 2, which is SCW will increase opportunities that connect students and relevant and real-world experience, and that's where our work-based learning is going to come into. So just to briefly talk about the new diploma requirements, each student is eligible to achieve a readiness seal through enrollment, employment, or enlistment. The enrollment and employment is where the work-based learning is going to come in play. Our enrollment students will be able to achieve a enrollment honors plus seal, which requires 75 hours of work-based learning. And then any student who would like to go out on the employment readiness seal track, they require 150 hours max. So we already started working with the Chamber of Commerce to slowly start meeting with those businesses and build partnerships there. And we also have already developed partnerships with the Whiting Fire Department. We have an in-house IT, not a pathway, but we have students working with our IT department to kind of start doing little tasks like checking in Chromebooks, things like that. And then Burrito Step as well. We have a student who's piloting that program right now with Burrito Step. So we're continuing to reach out to other people in the community, businesses, to get our students in there and make this experience worthwhile for them. So it's something that they can see themselves doing. So a career that they're interested in. So to see if there's something they want to do for the rest of their life. That's our goal, is just to make it worthwhile for them. You're welcome.
All right, and then goal 3. So Whiting is a a very unique place. And the thing that makes it unique is its families. And that's really what makes it strong. So for goal 3, School City of Whiting will increase family engagement and collaboration. Whiting has so many great activities here in the school system, and we want to increase that. So, and some examples of how this goal would look in action. We got, like, for example, the Hall of Fame event next week. That's going to be fantastic. We have literacy nights, STEM nights, side-by-sides, Junior Achievement Day, Christmas Around the World, early college registration, the FAFSA night, ACC program orientation, and multiple career college readiness fairs. And so with those, that's how that goal would look in action. And of course, as we get going through the year, there'll be other events that kind of come up or we're kind of get to create. So I'm really excited about this. So that's the final slide, and with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Superintendent Burton.
Thank you, guys. I'll take a minute again to thank everybody that showed up here tonight. Thank you all for your hard work in getting the strategic plan ready. Again, the plan is going to be to keep working on it here until the May board meeting, and then we'll put it in front of the board for final approval. And then we'll officially start it on July 1st, 2026. And then everything that we submit for approval to the board will be tied to our strategic plan to keep us and to hold us accountable. Whether it's a field trip or it's we're seeking new resources that need board approval, it'll have to be tied. We'll have a kind of a form that we're going to create, and then on the form you'll have to show how it ties to our strategic plan. Okay, this way it's going to keep everybody aligned and focused on our plan, but also hold us accountable. Okay, so I've got 2 minutes to let them clear out and go shake everybody's hand for coming. And you guys can stay if you want. If you've got to go home, I understand.
That is good.
But then I'm going to get you guys, I'll email you a copy of this presentation. If you guys prefer that I just send it to the SCW members, or do you guys want individual? They don't get I know I have Patty's. I have your guys. I don't think I have. What email do you use most? Work one? Well, email. I got your email too. Rena, do you have a private email? What is it?
Rena Mendez at Yahoo.
So Rena Mendez.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just start emailing to them directly. Okay. All right, we're ready.
Consent agenda, approval of School City Whiting Board minutes, regular meeting minutes for January 26th, 2026. Approval of claims for the month of January for $1,169,581.80. Donations, $500 donation from an anonymous donor to the Whiting High School General Fund, $100 donation from Burrito Stop to the USHLI field trip, $100 donation from Joe Franco to the girls basketball team, $147 donation from American Income Life Insurance to the Nathan Hale School account. Approval to accept the personnel report. Motion for all consent agenda items at present.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Patty. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Move on to new business. Approval to change the date of the March regular board meeting from Monday, March 23rd, 2026 to Monday, March 16th, 2026.
Motion?
A second. Motion by Rena, second by Chris. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approval of the changes made to the 2025-2026 school calendar. Motion.
Second.
Motion by Chris, second by Rena. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Yeah, just so, by the way, have some staff here, that was just for the election day stuff, that, now that we confirmed it with the mayor, that they will be using our facilities, so we had to go back and change it. So thank you, Eric, for taking care of that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approval to change the 2026-2027 school calendar. Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Patty. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approval of the Project Lead the Way grant.
Second.
Motion by Patty, second by Rena. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
Okay, just one quick second on Aaron, you want to announce the excitement with the Project Lead the Way grant?
Yes, we're very excited to announce that we have earned a grant to create our biomedical program, pathway, and the grant is for $50,000. So I am very excited. We're already in motion to try to look at what is possible for us to utilize that money for supplies and curriculum and all sorts of things. So
You want to give a shout out who
yes,
worked on it with you?
so Jessica Castillo, who's our AP coordinator, she is also the instructor for the Principles of Education course, and then Jessica Promick, who is teaching biology right now, and she will be spearheading the biomedical. She is already credentialed through her former district, so we can bypass that side because that's one more expense we don't have to spend. So I'm very excited, and thank you also to Mr. Worth. I know you were supportive in this and ready to hit the ground running, and so here we go.
Great work. Great work, thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approve Sender Adult Consultant Service Agreement.
Motion?
Second by Rena, second by Chris.
Yeah, that's just, we have Eric here representing them. He helps us out with Ms. Adams and some of our financial forecasting and planning. This is just for us to work with them, continue working with them for 2026.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Approval to reappoint the extracurricular treasurer for the period of February 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Sheila Coley as middle school extracurricular treasurer. Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Patty. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Opposed? Approval of overnight trip request for the Whiting High School senior class for grad night at Six Flags Great America with departure date of May 9, 2026 and return date of May 10, 2026.
Motion? Second.
Motion by Rena, second by Tom. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval for Hearts Alive to use the front lawn at Nathan Hale facing on 19th Street for an open-air pop-up market. Wednesday, May 20, 2026, June 17, 2026, July 15, 2026, August 19, 2026, September 16, 2026, from 4 to 8:30 p.m. or the parading at no charge. Motion.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Rena. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Thanks, Mike. Opposed? Approval of overnight football camp for Whiting High School football team leaving on June 15, 2026 and returning on June 18, 2026 at Manchester University. Motion.
Second.
Motion by Chris, second by Patty. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Any public or comments? There's over 3 minutes. Any comments? Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Chris, second by Patty. Meeting adjourned.